I am going to give you questions on cue ball deflection. You're going to come up with an answer. We're going to play it out, and you can see how your knowledge stacks up. All right, so getting right into it, this one ball shot into this corner pocket is exactly a 3-0, a 30-degree cut shot. My question to you, with a pocket speed rolling cue ball, hit top, no English, no slide, no nothing, just beautiful and smooth, where is the path that that cue ball will travel? Generally, in any video you watch, any ball shot between a quarter and a three-quarter fractional lane point, 14.5, 48.6, they say 30 degrees. Well, that's probably good enough. I don't know if you've heard of the diamond system or not, but basically if I measure this out, go 1 3/4 diamonds, there's 3/4, there's 1, come straight off the ghost ball line. I can put this ball right here. Looks pretty good, right? That is 30 degrees. So if you said 30 degrees, this cue ball should strike that. If you said something else, we're about to see if you were right. A 30-degree cut shot produces a 34-degree deflection. This is 28-inch distance to right there, and we barely nicked that ball. We barely touched it. We can actually verify how accurate that entire process was if we take a 4-degree tangent and we multiply that by 28 inches. It will tell us that that is a deviation between 30 degrees and 34 degrees at that distance of 2 inches. So if you were to put this ball directly next to that ball, they should have overlapped just slightly, right? Because you've got 1.125 and 1.125 to center. So you're going to be overlapping, which they did. They rubbed into each other. So that is a fact check on how accurately we shot that. We didn't cheat the pocket. We didn't cheat the 30 degree, right? That cue ball, so to answer that very first question, what is the angle, the deflection angle for a 30 degree, is 34 degrees. Did you get that one right? Let's go on to the next one. Look, I understand that all these finite details just seem completely outlandish for cue ball deflection or cue ball position. But if you can learn this, it's going to save you a ton of headache in every aspect of your game. You're going to be shooting easier shots all the time. You're going to understand your cut angles. You're going to understand your deflection angles. You're going to understand cue ball speed. And you're going to start having easier shots. All right, I don't know how you guys did on that first question, but they're only going to get harder from there. So the second one, this is kind of one of the scenarios that you run into. I've done it a million times myself, okay? You get a ball in hand and you can shoot. You got to be back here and behind the second diamond. And let's say we got to break out that 3-8, right? Would you prefer a shot that's straighter, right? Like, so if I was to shoot this 5, it's longer, but I can get just a little angle. I just feel like if I got a small angle on that, I could roll forward and bump that 3-8 combo. Do you prefer that approach? Or would you prefer, let's say this object ball sitting there, and now my objective is to break, I want to split this 11-2 here so I can keep on going with the run out. But my shot's now a 38-6, right? Like, I mean, a 38-7. It's a 3-8 shot. Like, I'm going to cut this into the side, but it's a pretty gnarly cut, right? Which one is mathematically easier? Is shooting that straight shot a higher probability for success, or is shooting this angled shot a higher probability for success? That's my question. This is a 3-8 shot I just set up. You didn't see, I'm not marking anything, but it's 3-8 shot. So let's get down and shoot this. This is quite a ways, right? It's like 40 inches or whatever it is, right? But I'm predicting to not just hit these balls, I'm predicting I'll hit that 2 ball. Let's get down and shoot this best we can. 3/8 fractional aim, going in that side pocket. that was wonderful. All right. So what if I'm back here and I'll grab that 5-ball again. Now we're going to go back to that straight shot, right? Remember, we're talking probability here, probability and ease. And what am I at here? So 7/8. I'll set this up right here. 7/8 shot into there. All right. So now I want to break these guys out. Well, we know that, you know, it's a much smaller deflection angle the straighter you go. And like this one, the general census is between 1/4 and 3/4, half 30 degrees, right? This one, the general census is 15 degrees. All right, cool. So if I'm shooting that small of degrees, you know, and I do my thing and it's a 7/8 and I go out a little bit, all right, well, it's not looking too likely that I'll hit those balls right there. So I'm going to move them over because this looks more like the path. And I'm just going to roll through with this and then we'll get into the answer. Okay, so I overcut it. It was a sloppy make, but I do have a shot. Now the answer to this is crazy, but the probability of you making it with a straighter shot is 66% less than if you take an angled shot that you can control, like that ball in hand. The reason is, okay, I cut that out and move you guys a little closer for this explanation. So straight or angled, higher probability. Your higher probability is on the angled shot. The reason that your straighter shot is so low probability is due to the increase in cue ball deflection in such a short margin. If each one of these quarters represented a 1/16th aim change in fractional aiming, which they do, and by that I mean if this tip, you can see that black line hopefully, if I aimed the center of that tip to your left side edge and aimed it at that your right side edge, that is a 1/16th difference. Down in this range, that changes your cue ball direction, let's say your pocketing direction, by about 3.5 degrees. Your deflection angle changes by over 2 times that. So in this first 3/16 of an aim range, or your first 3 aiming points, not including full ball hit, which it's not going to change, right? You're changing 23 deflection degrees. Whereas if I put all these quarters together, this is your range in 16th fractional aiming increments from a 3/4 ball to a quarter ball. So if I broke these in half, 3/4, half, half down to 3/4, right? All these and all this right here, all that span, all that degree of pocket cutting, you know, range, you are only changing 7 degrees of cue ball deflection. So when I shot that 3/8 at a 38.7, that was a 32 degree deflection. Remember, our 30 degree was a 34 degree deflection. So I optimized. I picked that 3/8 because 32 sets in the middle, right? Not quite 34, not quite 30. Yeah, there you go. So it's a good medium. So you've seen me hit that ball by doing that weird alternative to Dr. Dave's, peace sign. That was just another way to do it. And you'll get a kick out of this. I'll show you my peace sign. Dr. Dave says that everybody's peace sign equals about 30 degrees. Well, apparently doctors have different hands than farmers do. Were you right? Are you 2 for 2 or 0 for 2? I got one more question for you. 7/8 shot is a 17 degree deflection. We know that a 3/8 is a 32 degree deflection. We know that 30 is a 34 degree deflection. Everybody says that 30, give or take. Well, what actually is the cut angle that produces a 30 degree deflection? That's my question. Here I've got set up a shot up into this far right corner. I know you can't see that, but we're talking about deflection angle. I want you to be able to see how this cue ball comes off and reacts on that 5. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of fun here. This is a Poology setup shot. 56 position value with a 28 alignment value. If you know that that's a 30-degree cut shot, half ball hit. Well, not all aiming systems are dead on, right? Everybody can agree with that, and I don't teach this as if it is. This is actually, you need to cut it a little more. This is a 33-degree cut shot, all right, up into this corner. So it's not perfect. I'm going to shoot this about a 30 seconds out of a half ball hit, all right? So I'm cutting it a 33-degree shot. I did this because coincidentally, a 33 to 34 degree shot produces a 33-degree deflection. So we've done a 17, we've done a 30, we've done a 32, we've done a 34. Now we're going to do a 33. So if I had the magic powers of Dr. Dave, you know, I could just flip up the peace sign and all would be good, but I don't. So I'm going to do my, you know, one kid wobble with a straight arm and go, oh, I should be going right in that direction, okay? So your setup, my cue ball, all I care about is does it scratch? Remember, we're shooting about a 33. I'll put this up here. So I should be coming in right around here somewhere. If I shoot this so it's not sliding, just a nice pocket speed shot, I should make that 5 down there and the cue should come in that area. So I'm going to go ahead. And I didn't see where it went, but you guys may have seen where it went. So this brings me to the next point I want to make with your learning cue ball deflection. I have both of these in my hand. This first rail travel, if you're shooting it with any kind of speed, especially on a small table, that cue ball has to come off there and go somewhere. And I just scratched. I set this up to be, basically, I set myself up for failure. Just because you've predicted this, you also need to predict that outgoing line. So I want to set this up from over here, and I'm just going to move you guys real quick. And you'll probably get about right in there somewhere. All right. So if I set this same shot up, I doubt you can see me, but it's the same exact thing. No. I'm going to set up one other thing here that should be super cool for you guys. And, you know, if you don't know, this is just a little bonus information. So when you shoot a 30-degree shot, a 30-degree shot is basically a 1-to-1, right? I want to show you, excuse me, I want to show you this. So if I shoot this shot into that pocket, this thing has to travel 46 inches. And we know our deflection angle, well, the shot's going to go there, but our deflection is going to come over here and contact right in here, right? I'm going about 26 inches. If I hit this at the perfect speed, this should have only traveled 24 inches off that rail. So I'm just going to set something up. And when we come off, let's just do it like this. Just, you know, again, we're predicting that path, right? So 26, so 2 feet. Somewhere right in there. So again, we're just trying to get close here. Am I right there? Probably just a little bit back. So this is just predictive stuff. So I'm going to shoot this. All I'm trying to do, basically 46 to there, 46 to that ball. When I shoot this as slow as I possibly can where it just falls in, theoretically, this should touch that. Now, I will say that your rail is going to eat up some speed. So let's bring that back. And I'm just going to shoot this real nice and easy and see what happens here. All All right, so you can see we're very close, right? I shot it a little faster here and I made contact. But all this predictive stuff, our degrees, our speed, our deflection angles, all only hit with just a normal rolling cue ball. When you have, the whole point of this video is, with me questioning you and stuff, the whole point of this is for you to see that the knowledge can take care of you. So when you see videos and you see people banging big spin and stuff like that, it's better to be better at your predictive playing so you don't have to get into those situations. And to answer that last question, what's the only angle that produces a 30-degree deflection? 43.4. Okay, it's a 5/16 fraction lane, just a little thicker than a quarter ball hit. So pretty interesting. Why do you think the pros make it look easy? Well, because they're good, right? But no, but they're taking easier shots as well because they're giving themselves easier shots. If you don't know deflection, you are your own worst enemy out there. And you can watch your opponent and tell right away where his or her strong or weak points are, right? I'm an everyman's pool player, and I just want you guys to have the most information that I can. If you dig that, consider subscribing. I appreciate y'all. Take care.